Okay, so I have this song up here for one specific reason. The one song that I wanted to put on the beginning of the show was, of course, the singer Rob Thomas. Now, I always test my audience, what kind of generation we're looking at here. Who knows Rob Thomas the singer? Raise your hand. Yeah, so see, not as many people, right. How many people have heard of Matchbox 20? Oh, see, more people heard of that, right. So I couldn't use that song, so I found this one and went way back into the archives. Thank you very much, Andy. I'm going to call you Andy versus Handy. So I'm going to teach you a couple tips and tricks that I have used over the last 20 years for networking that has worked for me. They're simple and clean, and you will leave here with some simple tricks and tips about how to business network. But the first question I'm going to pose to you that I want you to ponder on is, tonight I'm going to give you a couple of different permissions. The first permission I'm going to give you is, I give you permission to go to a networking event like this and only meet one person and then you can leave. Because most people, when they go to a business networking event, they show up and they throw up. They take their business cards and they throw them at you. And they figure that, well, of course you need my services. Here's my stuff, right? So I'm going to talk about some real kind of basic theories and premises about business networking, but also get into some specifics. And I'm going to tell you about how to solve that question that I just posed to you, all right? So the first thing I want to talk about is my opinion on the 3 keys for success, business success. You need to be competent. You need to understand your craft and what it is that you know well. The second is you need to really be confident, not cocky. I didn't say egotistical, I said confident. You need to explain what it is you do in a confident manner, but not be cocky about it. But finally, the third component that I teach people is really the critical aspect, and that is to be connected. Now, I don't mean by the mob, I mean connected in such a way that you know the people who are on your LinkedIn. So, let's have another survey. How many people here are on LinkedIn? The software product, LinkedIn, excellent. How many people know 1,000 contacts in their LinkedIn? Raise your hand. You know them? That was a setup. That's exactly right. So I want to pose that rhetorical question to you as well in terms of being connected. How well do you know those different people in your LinkedIn profile? And I'm going to explain why that's going to be important in a couple of different slides. Okay? So now, my son who's going to UConn gets very frustrated at this slide because why am I going to college, Dad? I thought it was about what I know. Well, so not really, Chris. It's really about who you know, okay? So although we need to be competent in our task and what we're teaching people, it's really going to be all about who you know and how we're going to communicate that to others so it resonates in a simple manner. So, by the way, besides just exchanging business cards, they're going to want to sit with us and talk to us about what it is we do. But a couple other premises I want you to keep in mind as well when it comes to business networking. Life is not fair. Nowhere am I going to tell you that life is fair. And we also can't make people like us, trust us, or most importantly, buy from us. You cannot make people do something that you want them to do. However, there is a simple way that I've developed that can pull that out of them where they're going to want to. Okay? So, who is it that you really know? Now, I was alluding to another guest this evening about how I came up with the RTM. Does anyone take a guess what RTM stands for? Who didn't already? Rob Thomas what? Rob Thomas Method? Oh, it's already there. Oh, yeah. How many people know Larry Janeski? Okay. So Larry Janeski started his Connecticut Basement Systems. So Larry Janeski is writing the foreword to my book. And the reason why he's writing the foreword is because of this quote that he gave me. If we really want to connect with people, and we want either something out of them or we want to try and sell them beyond the business card exchange, so now I've officially used the title, we have to figure out how exactly we're going to communicate with them versus showing up and throwing up with our cards. Okay? Okay, now, so let's have a little fun. We go to a networking event, and the number one reason I submit that people don't like going to networking events is because they don't have a plan. They're not going to have any fun unless maybe there's booze involved, sure, but a lot of coffee or soda, whatever. But the number one reason why people don't want to go out to networking events is because they don't have a plan. They just figure they're going to show up and the gods are going to deliver some kind of mystical contact that's going to give them $1 million contract. And think about it for a minute, because it's not too far off the beaten path of really how people perceive when they go to a networking event, because they don't want to go. It's a pain in the ass. They don't want to go. I don't want to go to this. I'm not going to know anybody. Why am I going? Well, it's because they don't have a plan. So let's take a big event. Let's take a cufflink event, for example. Let's say the Stamford Chamber of Commerce holds a cufflink event. I call it a cufflink event because we've all been to these rubber chicken events that are $100 for bad chicken or rubber eggs, right? Okay. So we go to these things because we figure that we're going to swim in the pond with the fishes that have got the money, right? Okay, great. The challenge is we go to these things and we really don't know who is it that we need to meet. This is going to be a common theme. You're going to hear it throughout this evening. Because if you're not really specific about who it is you need to meet, then what's the point? Why? You're going for the bad eggs for $100? I mean, it's probably more down here. It's $100 in New Haven. But why? Why are we doing this?